to the YouTube side. Welcome to Cruise Chat Live. It's Sunday morning. It's time to talk about all things cruising. Hey, Dennis, how are you? Good to see you. If you're new to the channel, I am Walter, your independent travel advisor. As always, my wife, Rebecca, is sitting right off camera. And we're here to talk about all things cruising. Smoking hot in Florida. Yes, it is, Pip. Our thermometer outside here in Orlando has been showing 103 for most of the week. It's insane. I got out there at like 7 o'clock in the morning to do my lawn mowing, and oh my goodness gracious, just so freaking hot out there. And I see that we're already having a little bit of connection issues. We've been having so many internet issues here this week. It's not even funny. But how's everybody doing wherever you are in this amazing world? If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Hit those like buttons so that TikTok and YouTube know that you actually like what we're doing. And it's an exciting day for us today. It really is an exciting day. Today, our very first cruise that we ever booked as Where's Walter Travel is sailing. It's sailing. The Norwegian Escape is taking Michael and his mom, Haley, on their very first cruise. And it was our very first cruise that we booked as Where's Walter Travel. So it's a big day today. We're so excited for them. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Kara, it's going to be in the mid-60s today. Oh, my gosh, I want to come there. Where are you? I want to come there right now so we can get out of this 103-degree temperature. That sounds lovely. But good morning, everybody. Hey, good morning, Joe. How are you? Hey, we're talking about skiing already with Joe there. Man, we're going to do a ski trip. That sounds like a lot of fun. We have found some really cool places. I didn't know how many places there were to ski around Chicago, Joe. That was enlightening for me. I thought you had to go to Colorado or you had to go, to some of these other places. But wow, there's a lot of good skiing within driving distance of Chicago. So thanks for that, Joe. Kara, Monterey, California. All right, Kara. So everybody, we need to go to Monterey, California because they're in the mid-60s right now. I love it. Hey, Kitty, are we in Florida? Yes, we're in the Orlando area. We operate our travel agency out of the Orlando area, but we literally service clients nationwide, and we have some Canadian clients, we have Caribbean clients, so we can handle all of North America and the Caribbean as well. So yeah, it's actually super, super cool. Joe, 12 days till Playa. Awesome. Playa del Carmen. I don't know how you say that. But yes, you're going on your honeymoon. We booked Joe on his honeymoon to an all-inclusive resort. That is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see the pictures. Oh, yeah. You like the steamboat, Mickey? Yeah. Right. There he is. Yeah, I can't even remember. I think I got him in Disney Springs quite some time ago at the World of Disney. The largest Disney store in the world, according to them. I guess it is. I don't know, but yeah, it's really cool.
I don't know that there are that many Disney stores left anymore.
That's true. They're probably gone. So it's the world's largest by default now. Hey, Mike, your favorite part of Sunday. Well, thank you very much. I don't know. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Cheers to you. Hey, good morning, Kobe. How are you? Good to see you. Somebody's going on the first cruise. Cecilia, going on your first cruise in 2 weeks. Any advice or first-timer tips? Oh, my goodness gracious. So many. That's really what the entire Where's Walter Travel channel is all about, is first-timers especially. But some really good tips. So number one, make sure you have all of your documentation ready as you approach the terminal. You don't want to be walking into the cruise terminal and then trying to dig through your bag, dig through your luggage to get the paperwork out. Or if it's all on the app, your check-in and everything is on the app, make sure that the phone is already up to the app. Make sure you got your boarding passes and everything already showing before you walk into the terminal. Because, sometimes those terminals are all steel, and sometimes you might have a hard time connecting in there, and it gets to be annoying. So just make sure everything's ready before you walk into the terminal. And once you're on the cruise, understand that things can change. So you kind of have to go with the flow. So like if there's bad weather, you might miss a port. If something else comes up, you might miss a port. There might be some changes. That's just the way cruising works. You just roll with it. Typically, you're going to get another sea day. That's the biggest thing. Just roll with it. Go with the flow. Don't have too many expectations. of things, and I think you're going to get along great. And also make sure you fully understand what is and is not included before you get on the ship, because every cruise line's different, in terms of, these things are included, these things are not included. So make sure you understand everything that's included and what's going to cost extra so that there's no surprises. That's the worst part. When you get on a cruise and you're like, oh, I didn't know I had to pay for all these things. Make sure you fully understand everything you have to pay for. And last but not least, make sure you know everything that's actually on your ship. I have heard from multiple people like, oh yeah, I booked my first cruise on, a Carnival ship and it didn't have the roller coaster or it didn't have this. And it's like, well, yeah, that's only on a couple of ships. So just make sure you know everything that's on your ship. Other than that, have an amazing time. Welcome to the cruise family. And if we can help you with your next cruise, absolutely reach out.
And you have a playlist here on TikTok.
I do have a whole playlist called Cruise 101. It's kind of long now, but there is a lot of, there's a lot of little tips and tricks in there. But yeah, right here on TikTok, I do have a Cruise 101 playlist. So thank you, Rebecca. That'd be awesome. Mike, you are amazing. Thank you. Nate, cruises are expensive. No, actually, they're not. They're quite cheap comparatively. I mean, I can get you on a cruise for as low as $995 for 2 people for 5 to 7 days. So, and then your food's included, the travel's included, the entertainment's included, your ports are included. So cruises are actually, I mean, are they more now than they were pre-pandemic? Yeah. But I mean, cruising is also white hot. Yeah. The cruising is white hot right now. So Kobe, you went on the Celebration 8 months ago. Nice. Nice. I love it. I love it. Kitty, you want to become a cruise travel agent? Can you do that without going through a travel agency? Actually, you can, but then you have to be licensed. You have to go through all the training. You have to carry your own insurance. There's like a lot of things. And then you have to build your relationship with each and every travel provider. So by going under a host agency, the biggest thing that gets rid of is having to make all those introductions with all the travel partners, because you walk right into business development directors with every major cruise line, with every major travel partner that you literally can start a discussion with on day one. So that's the biggest advantage. Christy, good morning. How are you? I hope Texas is a little cooler than Florida. Probably not. Kara, you had a medical emergency and missed your private island port. There's a great example of what can happen. We had a medical emergency on the MSCC side, and actually I have it. I haven't posted it yet, but I have to post the. I was rolling one of my long natural sound videos, and I noticed the sun went from the back of the ship to the front of the ship, or front of the ship to the back of the ship, like in 5 minutes. I was like, oh wow, we just made a big turn, and we had a medical emergency. Now, fortunately, we didn't miss the port. The port had to be shortened, but we did not miss the next port. But that's a great example of what happened. So,
and another example of something completely different. My mother, on her Mediterranean cruise, she had an overnight stay in Turkey and in Istanbul, and they canceled the second day because there were elections, afraid of political unrest.
Yeah. And we've been to Norwegian's twice and have yet to dock, because both have yet to get on there, because they do it with tender boats, and both times the weather was too rough while we watched the Royal Caribbean ship dock up to the pier, literally right next door. So yeah, sometimes that happens. Diana, do you have to buy a drink package? Absolutely not. We typically don't. We might get a soda package, like a soft drink package, if it includes the water. Like on Royal Caribbean, we like the refreshment package because they have the freestyle Coke machine, so you can get flavored waters, you can get all kinds of things that you can mix and match in the freestyle machines. But it's very rare that we get a alcohol more. We just don't drink enough. I do have multiple examples both on TikTok and YouTube. Recent being from the Carnival Mardi Gras, where the drink package would have cost between $700 and $800 for 7 days for the 2 of us. And we spent less than $300 just paying a la carte. And I wasn't even trying. I mean, I was having drinks at the fortune teller. I was having drinks at the Alchemy bar. I wasn't even really trying. I was getting my specialty coffee. Oh my God, I drank so much Cuban coffee that week. It was ridiculous. It was so good. So no, you don't need a drink package at all to go on a cruise. And if you don't really drink that much, you're going to be much better off not getting the drink package. Hey, Tara, good to see you. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning. Sarah, you just got back from Alaskan cruise on the Grand Princess. It needs to be retired. It may need to go in for dry dock. That ship won't be retired for quite some time yet. It might need to go into dry dock and get some TLC But we've actually had some clients on the Grand Princess, and I haven't heard any complaints about it yet. The older ships are going to be, sometimes they're going to look a little rough, especially if they're at the end of that 5 or 10 year cycle, whatever it is that they're going to go in for their dry dock. But we've had clients on the Grand, and I haven't heard anything negative back on it yet. She's definitely an older ship. I'm sure she's probably about due for dry dock. And I mean, that will happen from time to time. We've been on some older ships. I mean, that was my feeling about the MSCC side. It was a lovely ship, but I could see a lot of areas where it could use a little TLC. Could definitely use a little TLC. William, you're going to the Caribbean in November. Fantastic. I love it. Hey, Deb, how are you? Good to see you. Can you bring your, I can't see.
I think it's a dog.
No, you can only bring a service animal. No, like, what is it?
No emotional support
support animals. It has to be a service animal to come onto the ship. We have seen them. Especially for the vision impaired. We've seen them. It's lovely when you see them. You just want to reach out and pet them, but you can't. But no, you can't bring your dog. Ray's going to be on the Carnival Dream in 20 days. Rock on. That's exciting. I love it. Let's see. Amanda Ray, you've never been on a cruise and want to take my kids on one. What do you recommend? Well, first of all, working with a travel advisor, whether that's me or one of my many colleagues here in the United States, the biggest thing, and I don't know how old your kids are, I don't know what your kids like to do, but the biggest thing is A, making sure that the kids are going to have things that they want to do, and B, making sure it's going to be things that you want to do. I mean, you're going on the cruise too, so we need to make sure that both of you are going to like what it is on the ship. And fully understanding that, going on a Royal Caribbean ship doesn't mean, oh, wow, there's going to be all these things to do, because different ships have different, things on the ship. Same with Carnival, same with MSC, same with Norwegian. So I've talked about this before, where I have one client, they booked their first cruise by themselves. She booked it on Norwegian thinking, oh, it's going to have all these things, but she booked it like on the Pearl or one of the really small ships that really had nothing but pools. That's really all it had. So now we work with her and we make sure to help out. But I mean, basically, you're going to be looking at Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Disney, MSC, and Carnival. Those are the 5 that you're probably going to be looking at. Now, which ship you're going to get of those 5, and the cruise line has nothing to do with the decision at all. What has everything to do with the decision is the ship itself. And plus, there's going to be, what's the availability? The Royal Caribbean is absolutely insane right now. I tried to book a family on an Alaska cruise for July of 2024. That's a year from now. I could not get the 6 cabins configured the way they wanted them to. Now they're going to wait till 2025. So if you're trying to go on a Royal Caribbean ship, booking as soon as you can is the way to go. Last minute bookings on Royal Caribbean, oh man, it is absolutely crazy.
Particularly when you need multiple.
Yes, especially. Hey, John joining us. I see Becky is here. Good to see everybody on the YouTube side. Thank you so much for joining in. If you got questions at all, definitely jump into the discussion. We'll do our best to get the answers. Hey, Kath, how are you? From South Central Wisconsin. I hope you're not in the hundreds. Oh, my gosh, it's so hot. Whip 419, what was the cruise line you talked about in the past that goes to Germany from New York? That would be Cunard. Cunard still does regular transatlantic crossings. I want to say about 30 a year. So you can literally go both ways across the pond without ever getting on a plane. And they do New York to Southampton, and they do New York to Hamburg, and the opposite way around. They do many more to Southampton. I don't know how many they do to Hamburg, but I found out about that because of a client that wanted to go to Hamburg. It's like, oh, I can actually send you on a ship, but they needed to fly over because they didn't have the time. But yeah, so Cunard still does regular transatlantic. Fabulous. John Johnson, you booked a cruise, did not have it paid off, so they canceled my cruise. Just letting everyone know. Yeah, if you don't make the payment by final payment, boom, you're gone. They waste no time at all because they've got about 30 people right behind you ready to happen if you don't book. And that's actually part of that whole bidding process. You get the bids for upgrading to a balcony or something like that. Some of those are just people who didn't make their final payment or they just canceled. But if you do not make that final payment, we as travel advisors, that's actually on our list. Within within 14 to 10 days of your final payment, I'm sending you an email going, hey, final payment's coming up. Let's make the arrangement. And there are some cruise lines that don't send a notification. Like they almost want you to not pay, which is kind of rude.
It is your responsibility to know
it is your
when
responsibility.
Payment is due. It's plainly on your invoice.
Yeah, and somebody was asking about, tips for a first timer. That's another great tip for a first timer. As soon as you book a cruise, go into your calendar and note down, this is when my final payment is due. In fact, put it a week early. My final payment is due today. This is the day that dining opens up. This is the day that excursions open up. This is when I need to check in. You should go into your calendar and just set yourself calendar reminders. And definitely for the final payment, set it like a week early. Just get it done and out of the way. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Particularly because if anything goes wrong with processing your credit card, you need to have time to recover.
Exactly. So don't wait till the last day.
Do it early.
Yeah. And for those of you joining in a little bit later, I am Walter. I'm an independent travel advisor. That is my wife, Rebecca, sitting right off camera. As always, she is a partner in Where's Walter Travel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And just keep hitting that like button so that YouTube and TikTok know you like what we're doing. And if we can help you at all with your travels, where'swaltertravel.com. I'll just hold this right up there for the TikTok crowd. So you can see it, where'swaltertravel.com. On YouTube, there are links in the description. And on the TikTok side, if you click my logo, there are links to take you to contact us. Our services are 100% free. You don't pay us a dime for our services. So, why? Let us help you out. That'd be awesome. And Cindy saying you're finally down to your 30-day countdown to our cruise. If you were not here earlier, today is a momentous day for our company because the very first cruise that we booked 8 months ago when we started this company is sailing today. Michael and his mom, Haley, are taking their very first cruise today on the Norwegian Escape. So if you're going on the Norwegian Escape today, if anybody's watching this going on the Norwegian Escape, look for Michael. He's actually got this shirt on. He's got a blue Where's Walter Travel shirt on. It says to travel is to live on the back. So if you see Michael, say hi and welcome to cruising. User 546, favorite cruise line to cruise the Caribbean. Oh God, all of them, really. We've been on 9 different cruise lines. The Caribbean for us now, because we've been on so many cruises, the Caribbean is where we like to try out new ships. It's a great chance to try out a new ship. Port Canaveral is literally 1 hour away. So there is no favorite cruise line. With the Caribbean, look at the itinerary. What do you want to do? I prefer the Eastern Caribbean. I prefer San Juan, St. Martin, St. Thomas. I love what's happening this coming year with San Juan. We've got 3 ships that are going to be sailing out of San Juan that I know of. We got Royal Caribbean, got the Jewel of the Seas. Norwegian's got the Viva. And Virgin's going to have their 4th lady ship, the Brilliant Lady, all sailing from San Juan with really great itineraries, hitting islands that you just don't hit from Florida unless you do like a 20-day cruise. So I'm really, not so much a cruise line to cruise the Caribbean. I'm really excited about what's happening with San Juan and adding some of these new terminals. So just absolutely amazing. Dennis is asking about Princess in 2025. Will that be a group trip? I have not set up a group trip. What I am setting up right now, I have one client that we may be booking, upwards of 40 to 50 people onto one Princess cruise. They're looking at a cruise tour. So probably some of them are going to book the full tour, some of them book the cruise. That's a really cool thing about Alaska and a cruise tour. Not everybody has to take that full tour. Like if it's a 14-day, 10-day, whatever tour, the cruise itself is only 7 days. So people can just take the cruise and everybody just meets up on the ship too. So we're not forming a group yet. But yeah, we are looking at group cruises for 2024. Hi, Kenneth. Welcome. In fact, hopefully we're going to have something really cool being announced next weekend. Hopefully, if everything works out, something really cool is going to happen next weekend in regards to that. Can't talk about it, but that will be happening. But yeah, Rebecca and I just have not had the time to really look at 2024. I want to put together 2 group cruises for 2024. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, Alaska 2025. I really would love to do that. So yes, Dennis, stay tuned is all I can say. Heidi, you bought travel insurance for the first time. I'll tell you, I cannot recommend travel insurance enough. We have gotten it for every single cruise. It's the one thing you pay for that you hope you're never going to have to use. And for those who don't understand why you get travel insurance, it's because if you're a United States citizen, you are leaving the United States if you're going to the Caribbean, if you're going to the Mexican Riviera. Now, on an Alaska cruise, you're in the United States except for one stop. It's going to be in Canada, maybe two. So that one, I could almost see you sliding on because your health insurance should kick in. But for every cruise that we've ever taken, we have gotten travel insurance. And the insurance that we typically propose to our clients is $50,000 in medical and $500,000 in medical evacuation per person. And that's because your medical coverage, even if you got great health plan, most likely does not work the moment you leave the United States. And so that's what you're paying for. So we definitely recommend travel insurance to everybody. So, oh, I'm sorry, Tara. Oh, there you are, Tara. So sorry, I missed a question over here. How often do ships go into dry dock? And if ships are older, say 20 plus years, do they go more often? That's a great question, Tara. Typically, every 5 years, a ship will go in for maintenance, a standard, I forget what they call it, but, they have to go in, let's just say they change the oil, they do all the stuff on the engine, right? There's like a maintenance. And then every 10 years, 8 to 10 years, they usually go in for a full dry dock. Now, when they go in for that maintenance dry dock, yeah, they might change the carpet out. They might, obviously freshen up furniture, do some painting. But about every 10 years, they usually go in for a full stern to bow, full refit, full recondition. So it's usually about every 10 years. And no, if they're 20 years or older, as long as the ships are being maintained, they generally do not go in more. So generally it's 5 years for a maintenance update, and then 10 years. Like the Scarlet Lady, she's now been sailing almost 5 years. She is going in for her dry dock in 2024. So at the end of the winter season, 2024, the Valiant Lady is going to stay in Miami, and the Scarlet Lady is going to go back. She's going to do a med season and then go in for dry dock for a month or 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. So great question. Great question. Kitty Rock, will RC ever offer cruises where they do multiple days at Coco Cay? I don't think so, because now you got Celebrity joining in, so they've got so many ships coming in. I just don't think so. A soda package. Yes, soda packages are available. Well, they may call it a refreshment package. They may call it like
on Royal Caribbean, which is what they're going to be sailing. They do have a soda only package.
Yeah.
And they have the refreshment package, which includes some additional items.
Yeah. So we did a refreshment package because that's coffee, mocktails, and soda, or soft drinks, really. If you do the soda package, literally it's just a Coca-Cola products, I believe, right?
Well, yeah, the Freestyle machine and Coke products from the bars.
So I like the refreshment package because I'm going to drink specialty coffee all day long. Now, keep in mind that does not include the Starbucks, but you can go to the Cafe Promenade and you can go to the Spa Cafe to get Starbucks coffee there, and that is included. So.
Yeah, because most people don't realize that soda is really on most cruise lines, other than Disney and Virgin, it is not included in your cruise fare.
Yeah. Macrina, I do not have a phone number handy for Allianz. Allianz Global is who our insurance partner is. You can look them up, or if you'd like to just reach out to us, I can literally get you a quote in about 30 seconds. So, hey, Peggy and Rana, how are you? Thank you. You've enjoyed the chats with the various reps from the cruise line. So if you have not tuned in yet, on Thursday nights, we do a live on YouTube only, 8:30 p.m. And we're doing our best to line up a different guest each week. We've had MSC Cruises. We just had American Cruise Lines.
DCL Duo.
At DCL Duo.
Per se, but
and we had Tamika from Virgin. I've got Princess Cruises that's coming up.
Guys who do Carnival a lot. We had them.
Yep, Cruise Life. But we've got Royal Caribbean coming up. Carnival's coming up. Princess is coming up. Holland America is coming up. I'm working on Viking right now to get Viking to come on board. So on Thursday nights, we try to do an interview style live from 8:30 p.m. Eastern until 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So, and we do our best to take your questions as well. Good morning, Kurt. And I highly recommend, if you're interested, if you've never heard of American river cruising, didn't even know American river cruising even existed, go watch the replay from last week. That was a great show with Cindy from American Cruise Line. So, Shannon, where do service animals relieve themselves on cruise ships? That's funny. There have actually been some YouTube videos from the cruise lines done. They basically have like a fake grass pad or maybe wood chips.
Down kind of in service areas.
Yeah, it's in the crew area of the ship. And when you come on board with your service animal, that's one of the things they do. They escort you down. They show you where it is. And yeah, that's what you do.
And from what I understand, they have a separate pad for each animal. Like you don't share pads.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. And the animals have to go through a life jacket drill. Yeah.
Captain Kate actually demonstrated that with Bug one day. So if you want to see an animal going through a life jacket drill, Captain Kate did it with her cat Bug. So, hey, Marley, you would love to go on a cruise, but you're scared of going. Is there anything I should be expecting? Well, for one, definitely work with a travel advisor, whether it's us or one of our many colleagues here in the United States, because one of the things that we will do is try to help, ease your fears. And we're going to try and book you in a cabin in a location that's going to be the smoothest ride for you. And then we're also going to make sure we get you on a ship that gives you the best chance of enjoying your cruise. It's not just about, oh, let's put you on the Icon of the Seas. Let's put you on a Norwegian Prima. It's like, well, what do you want? Maybe you just want a smaller ship. On a smaller ship just to kind of ease your way in. Let's just see what this is all about. I do recommend no less than 5 days. If you do these 3-day cruises, those can generally be a booze cruise. Doesn't matter whether you're on Carnival, Royal Caribbean,
that's
MSC.
What you're into.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a booze cruise, then there you go. But I try to send people on a 7-day cruise for their first cruise, because it really does take like a week to really go, okay, this is what cruising is all about. And so what you can expect is amazing service. You're going to be waited on hand and foot. You don't want to be surprised by fees. So you want to fully understand what's included, what's not included. The cruise lines do not make it easy to compare apples to apples. They do that on purpose. That's another reason why a travel advisor is so helpful, because we can show you, see, the Princess Plus program, it's kind of like the Have It All program, but it's not. It's sort of like the all-included program on Celebrity, but it's not, so we can help clarify a lot of the mysteries that go on there. And then also picking the right itinerary, because you want to have a nice itinerary so that there's some stops that you can get off and you can enjoy. So one of the things that we do for a first-time cruiser, we actually have a 10 or 11-page PDF that we send out to our clients that actually has like lots of information that we've learned over our years in cruising. Plus on TikTok, I have a whole Cruise 101 playlist that has a lot of information on there as well. So if we can help you or assist you, definitely either reach out to us by clicking that logo or going to where'swaltertravel.com, or find a local travel advisor to help you out. Definitely a travel advisor goes a long way. We've been cruising almost 20 years. We use a travel advisor for every single cruise up until we became a travel agent. So we're still using travel agents. It's just us now. So, Becky and Nurse is saying that Princess uses wood chips for their potty areas. That's cool. That's cool. Heidi, you've been on many cruises living in Florida. It's one of the reasons why we moved to Florida, was because just the access to the cruise ship. Heidi, it's really funny. You're saying if Oasis is still playing catch, you will have to skip the show. So I got a great story about that. My brother-in-law was Mr. Mistopheles in the original cast, like 32 years ago, whatever it was. He was the second Mr. Mistopheles. He wasn't the original. He was the second Mr. Mistopheles. And so I saw the show a lot. In fact, I would just pop in on the stage door. I got to know the stage door guy, and I would just pop in if I was there hanging out in New York for the day. And I would not see cats on a cruise ship. It's too long. It's too slow. It's not the right show. And the problem is they had this contract with Andrew Lloyd Webber. They can't cancel the show. If they cancel the show, from my understanding, is they're still going to have to pay Andrew Lloyd Webber. So they're like, all right, we'll just leave the show running until the contract runs out. I guarantee you when that contract runs out, they are not renewing it, because I don't know many people who actually like the show on a cruise. That is the wrong show for a cruise ship. So I'm with you there, even though.
But they will have other original production shows and
yes,
probably comedians or magicians
yes,
or some other guest performers.
Yeah, Royal Caribbean has some of the best original shows out there. If you're not following Nick Weir, W-E-I-R, on social media, you should. He is like the guy in charge of all those entertainment things. And he's been teasing the heck out of the Icon of the Seas, but he showcases all the shows. It's really cool.
Well, obviously, on the Oasis, there's going to be the diving shows
and the
ice shows too.
Stephanie, can you bring prescription medicine on board? You absolutely can. Now, there may be certain medications that they want to know about. What we recommend is if you're going to come on board with a prescription medication, bring a printout of everything that you're taking, including the dosages. So just in case something happens on board, somebody can just give that right to the doctor on board. They can see immediately what you're taking. So for anybody bringing prescription medication on board. Now, also, if your medication has to stay cold, the fridge in your stateroom is considered a cooler. It's not considered a refrigerator. If you need to keep your medication at a certain temperature, you have to let the cruise line know, and they will swap that out for an actual refrigerator that can maintain a certain temperature. But if you don't tell them that thing is only meant to keep stuff cool, it may not keep your medication at the right temperature. So great question. Thank you, Stephanie.
And if you have any narcotic medications, you'll definitely want to bring those in the original bottle.
Yes.
To prove that it is you who's allowed to have them. And one last thing, if you have a prescription for medical marijuana, nope, that you cannot bring.
Cannot bring it on any ship that we know of. Most every ship has banned any CBD product, so don't even think about bringing it on. If there's any questions about it, go to the cruise line, go to the FAQ. They literally list everything you can and cannot bring on it. Well, they pretty much list everything you can't bring on a ship, and that will be one of them. Heidi, how hard is it to upgrade? That depends on how full the ship is. Most of the upgrading is now done through bidding. The way the bidding process works, when they open up the bidding, those cabins may or may not be available. Like they may say, hey, bid on this suite. Well, there may not be any suites available. What the cruise line is looking for is either people are going to cancel, or they may upgrade to a higher level suite, and then that opens up the suite. But there may not be any cabins available. So how hard is it to upgrade? It depends on how full that ship is, really. Mama Llama, you're interested in an Alaskan cruise, August 2024. Do not wait. Alaska 2024 is selling really, really well. We always recommend Princess first, Holland America right behind that, and maybe Celebrity. But it all depends on what you're looking for. I got one family, they definitely want to go on a Quantum class Royal Caribbean ship. Could not set them up in 2024, so we're going to set them up in 2025. It may not be until November, from what I'm hearing, that we're going to see those bookings open up. So it could be a while. But as soon as those Alaska 2025 bookings open up for Royal Caribbean, I'm going to be all over it. Macrina, you're saying with Allianz, you're seeing basic Prime Premier. Is it the Prime that you recommend? Yeah, well, we recommend the 5,000. The reason why we recommend that one is especially so 50,000 in medical coverage each. Let's start there. Medical coverage, medical services on a cruise ship are very expensive. You could get up to like 10, 15,000 very quickly if you damage yourself pretty good on a cruise ship. So I like 50,000. That's a nice buffer. There was a woman on a Carnival ship last year who had to be let off in Jamaica. She was expected to spend 20 days in a hospital. You can imagine how much 20 days in a hospital is going to cost. To fly her back to the United States was going to be 40,000 from Jamaica. That's not really that long of a flight. So I like 500,000 in medical evacuation, because that pretty much means wherever I am in the world, I should be able to fly back to the United States. So that's why I like the 500,000 as a minimum. We've also sold 100,000, $1 million as well. So have I heard of a bid for an upgrade? Yeah, so the bidding process has been around since the cruise lines realized that, hey, people will pay for these cabins. They used to give them away. You know, you'd show up at the terminal and they'd be like, hey, you know what? We've got a suite available. You guys just got married. Here you go. Why don't you take the suite? They don't do that anymore. Now they want you to pay for it. So the bidding process has been around for a while. Jacob, how to get the best deal on a cruise? One, you book as far out as you possibly can. For Alaska 2025 just opened up this past week for Princess. Those are the best prices, the best inventory that we're going to have. Secondly, you work with a travel advisor. If the price goes down, I'm just going to call Princess and I'm going to get the price adjusted. I did that this week with a client from Celebrity. I thought the price went down, but it actually went up, once we double checked it. But anytime that we see that a price may have gone down, we simply call the cruise line up until final payment. Once you've made final payment, no more price adjustments are made. But up until final payment, a travel advisor can call in and always get the price adjusted. So, yep. Have we bought travel insurance? Talked about that. Any tips for Alaska cruise mid-August? Layers. Absolutely. You got to dress in layers. What else? Dress in layers. That's the biggie. And then in Juneau, Harv and Marv's whale watching is absolutely amazing. In Skagway, Temsco helicopters, they're absolutely amazing. They have a dog sled tour, and they also have a tour where you land on a glacier. And then in Ketchikan, Island Wings Air with pilot Michelle. Excellent float plane pilot and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's what I would say. Hey, Stacy, how are you? When can you bid for an upgrade? When the cruise line sends you the notification, they'll literally send it to you in the email. Royal Up. If I get a grand suite with a 2-bedroom, can my friend stay instead of her interior room? So what they would do if you're all by yourself and you get that suite, they may reprice it if you're going to add somebody. If you only have one person on the booking, sometimes to add that second person in means they're going to reprice it at the current prevailing rate. So what I would do is I would check with your travel agent before you do that and have them call Royal Caribbean and say, this is what we're thinking of doing. Is this going to affect the price? Because it will add port fees and taxes automatically. You're going to have to pay the extra port fees and taxes for that second person. But they could say, oh, well, this changes the booking. We're going to rebook it at the current prevailing rate. So don't do anything without checking with your travel agent. Have them call into Royal Caribbean and find out.
And usually the bidding process doesn't happen till after final payment. So
Right.
there's going to be penalties for your friend canceling
Yes.
their interior room
Yes.
as well.
Yes. John's asking if the cruise lines will release the 2025 med season soon. Norwegian has listed some already, but waiting on Celebrity. MSC has released the winter season 2024-2025, and Europe is on there. I don't know. We really don't know. I was shocked when I found out that there's a possibility Royal Caribbean may not release Alaska until November. I figured with Princess coming out this week, that would start the dominoes. I think there are some from Princess right now, but I'm not entirely sure because I could swear there was like some Star or some Princess listed there. But, who knows? They don't give us a heads up. Princess actually gave us like a 2-week heads up on Alaska, which was fabulous. And they gave us the entire package. We had pricing. We had the itineraries. We had everything. That was fantastic. But it's rare we actually get that. Usually it's like, hey, booking just opened. Here you go. It's like, oh, great. It'd be nice if we had a heads up so we could like prepare for it. But in general, we find out when you do. So what is Royal Up? Yeah, so Royal Up is just bidding process. It's what Royal Caribbean calls their bidding process. Glenn, you're going on your first cruise out of New Orleans on the Carnival Valor for Thanksgiving. Some tips, I assume, is what you're asking there. So we've not sailed out of New Orleans yet. But again, well, first of all, Thanksgiving, that ship's going to be full, more than likely. It is going to be probably 100, maybe 110% capacity. So, as I tell everybody else, one, know everything that's actually available on that particular ship. Carnival Valor is an older ship. She doesn't have everything that, say, the Mardi Gras Celebration, even the Vista class has. So she's a smaller ship, doesn't have all the venues, all the bells and whistles on the top. Fully understand what is and is not included in the cruise fare. Their drink package is somewhat expensive. It's like around $60 a day per person, and that is only drinks. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no gratuities. There's none of that included. Understand the gratuities. So you will be charged basically a hotel tax every single day. It's a gratuity for the your room steward and everybody behind the scenes. Don't remove those.
And the dining
Leave
staff.
them.
And
The dining staff. So don't remove those. And then be prepared to go with the flow. There could be bad weather, could be mechanical issues, could be something that prevents you from visiting one or more ports, or the itinerary could even just change even after you leave the port. So just be ready to go with the flow.
And I know your one, I don't eat meat, so it doesn't affect me, but your one Thanksgiving specific tip is skip the Thanksgiving meal in the main dining room. If you want turkey, you're probably better off going to the buffet, where they will likely have fresh carved turkey.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes, if you're going on a Thanksgiving cruise on any cruise line, I would skip the turkey meal in the main dining room, because it's really hard to make a good turkey meal for about 2,500 people. I mean, it's basically Piccadilly cafeteria is what you're going to be getting. Whereas on the buffet, we've seen this on multiple ships. They actually have turkey that they're carving in the meat station. That's going to be a better turkey than what you get down in the main dining room. So if you really want a turkey dinner on Thanksgiving on a cruise ship, go to the buffet instead of the main dining room. So, wow, you've been cruising since the Kathy Gifford day. That's amazing. Colette, you just got back from Ireland, leaving in 2 weeks now for your Howe Northern Isles cruise. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, Colette, it's been so much fun working with you and booking all these amazing adventures that you've been on. We have another client. We just booked a 42-day cruise on the Holland America Volendam. And it's round trip from Fort Lauderdale. It does the entire Mediterranean and then comes back. They're going to Italy. They're going to Greece. They're going to Israel. They're going to Egypt. I think Turkey, Morocco, Casablanca, Gibraltar, all round trip from Fort Lauderdale. So no overseas flight required. I tell you, Holland America is going to be doing some really cool stuff. Nurse Tara is asking, what is 110% full? How does that happen? So if you look at any cruise ship capacity, there's two numbers. There's double occupancy. That's the first number. That's 100% full. When double occupancy is hit, that's 100% full. Over that is when those third and fourth berths are being filled in. So like the Icon of the Seas, I want to say something like 5,500, 100% capacity, but then like 7,200 full, because she has the most 3 and 4 berth cabins of anything. So 100% full is when all the double occupancy is full. Beyond that is on top of 100%. So ships could be like 120% full, 125% full for the holidays. Yeah, that's what that means. So yeah. Barbara, 6 days to the first cruise. Thanks to me. Oh, we're so excited. We're so excited. Oh my God. I love people who are going on their first cruise. It's so much. Stacy, right. Boy, your NCL Pearl is almost here. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah. So what Stacy's referring to, there are 19 days to the NCL Pearl, to New England and Canada. And thanks to us, they won't be under the gym. They booked the cruise themselves through Norwegian. And every cruise line, if you book it directly with them, you can transfer it to a travel agency within a set amount of time. Generally, no more than 30 days, sometimes like as little as 14 days. And when Stacy booked it, she was transferring it to us, and I immediately noticed that her cabin was literally right below the gym. I was like, I don't really think you want to be under the gym. You're going to hear people running. You're going to hear weights going up and down. So we kept them in the exact same category. We just moved them so they're not under the gym anymore. So yeah, that is great. Any ideas when we find out 2025 Caribbean itinerary? They're starting to slip out. MSC has them right now. I think Royal Caribbean has a couple, like Utopia of the Seas, Icon of the Seas, kind of a thing. So they're starting to slide out. I know Princess does, because I was just looking at them yesterday.
They may not have every single one of their itineraries out, but they have some of them.
No, they're starting to come out now. They're starting to come out. Christy's looking at 14-day Alaska in 2026 for your 10-year anniversary. So those will release like next year. So like right now, August, Princess released 2025, 2 years out. So around this time next year, we should see the 2026 come up. Hey, good morning, Huntington Beach, California. How are you? Awesome. Keithers 101 dry dock. Is there a question that goes with it? I'm sorry. Did I miss a question? Okay. If you just want to ask what that is, I'm sorry. I don't see a question on that. User 321. You heard the shore excursions are currently overbooked and overpriced. Do I recommend Viator? So the way the shore excursions work on the cruise ship, they're generally marked up about 100%. It's the same crew. It's the same tours that you would take with a local tour operator, pretty much. In fact, a lot of them are run by the exact same tour operators. Cruise lines don't run any of their own tours. Some of the luxury ones might do some of them, but for the most part, mainstream cruise line, that's a local tour operator who's running your cruise, who's running your excursion, marked up about 100%. Now, you can book through a Viator. You can also book through Shore Excursions Group, who we work with. I have heard so many mixed reviews on Viator, and the one that concerns me the most is that, like, the tour didn't happen. Like, they booked it, tour didn't happen, they couldn't get in touch with anybody. Those are the ones that concern me. With Shore Excursions Group, we have not had that happen with any of our clients so far. We have had a couple of clients who were disappointed. They said, look, this wasn't exactly what it was, so we got a full refund for them. Shore Excursions Group does a 100% refund. The biggest thing is you have to do the research on that tour operator. One, to make sure that it gets good reviews. Two, to make sure it's going to get you back to the ship. I don't know if Viator has the guarantee that Shore Excursions Group guarantees that you will get back to the ship. If you don't, because of their tour, A, they're going to get you to the next port. B, they're going to pay you $1,000 each for the inconvenience of missing the ship. So, if Viator can match that, and they also have that satisfaction guarantee, we've never booked through Viator, and I've always recommended that my clients go through Shore Excursions Group because we've had very good luck with them so far. Hey, David, good morning. Any recommendation for a Baja California cruise? So you've got Norwegian, you've got Carnival. The Carnival Firenze is coming out soon. She's going to be doing that. Certain times of the year, you've got Celebrity is there, and Princess is doing it certain times of the year as well.
Royal, I think, does it most of the year.
Oh, that's true. The Navigator of the Seas has been doing it. So depending on, so you've got some good choices. You've got Carnival, Princess, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean.
I think Holland does it certain times of year.
Yeah,
as well.
very little. So I don't really know what you're looking for, but you've got at least four really good cruise lines there. And that Carnival Firenze is going to be the sister to the Venezia that's in New York. I love the look of those ships. So I certainly would go on that. Navigator of the Seas is a class that we really like. She's a sister to the Mariner. It's just a great size of ship. It will have a lot of families, obviously, as will Carnival. Celebrity and Princess will be much more adult. Celebrity, if it was me, I'd probably lean towards the Navigator and the Celebrity ship. Those are probably the two that I would lean towards. 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're asking about the YouTube, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights. Hi, Chris. We're glad you found us too. Good morning or good afternoon. Nope, still morning. Glenn, you're going on your first cruise. Yep, got it. I answered that one. Chris, do I have a recommendation for a no kids and not
Times dining?
Oh, not Times dining room. So no kid, obviously Virgin Voyages right off the bat. That's 18 and over only. Now, you may look at Virgin Voyages and go, wow, it's a lot more expensive than the other cruise lines, but that's because it's basically all included. And if you cruise before April of 2024, it is basically all included because they're giving you a $300 or $600 bar tab to go on the cruise. So Virgin Voyages includes meals, Wi-Fi, gratuities, soft drink, exercise classes. One more thing that I'm forgetting. I can't remember what the other thing is, but it's basically all included. Yeah, the soft drinks. And then you just have to pay for the alcohol. So that's number one. Celebrity is an excellent cruise line, and it has like My Time Dining. Princess as well, especially if you get on the Royal class ships. They're absolutely stunning, and they have My Time Dining as well.
Actually, Princess only has freestyle dining now.
That's true. Yeah. And then, Norwegian, and you're going to say this is really weird, but Disney is definitely a set dining, but it works really well for Disney because they do the rotational. But Disney is actually a great cruise line for adults as well. And Norwegian, maybe, depending on what you're looking to do. From what I'm hearing and seeing, there are less kids on the Prima. The Prima is a little bit more of an adult ship than the others, but those might be some of the ones to look at. Chris, feel free to reach out. Click below or go to where'swaltertravel.com and set up an appointment. Our services are free. We'd be more than happy to help you out and find the right ship. What are some of the do's and don'ts for the Carnival Valor? We talked about that a little bit, but don't be disappointed if your cruise changes. That's the big thing. Don't be disappointed if you start to sail out and things happen along the way and it's like, well, we can't go here, we can't go there. You're going to get a sea day. We might go to this other place. That's the biggest thing. Roll with it. Just roll with it. Tara is on the Explorer in 41 days. Thank you. And thank you for the shout out on the live. I love it. You're going, Nanette is going on a cruise to Alaska from San Francisco. I love that. And there is a cruise in 2025. It's on the Ruby Princess, 22 days from San Francisco. I mean, it does all of Alaska. So if any of y'all got like 22 days that you can spare in 2025, reach out. This Ruby Princess cruise is, I mean, I want to go on it. I really want to go on this cruise. I was talking to Steph the other day, and I'm like, Steph, look at this cruise. It's almost better than the Spirit one that she's vlogging right now. So yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. Cindy, first-time cruisers finding a video on a specific ship. Oh, helps you get familiar before boarding. That's a great point, Cindy. So that was Glenn. If you go onto YouTube and do a search for Carnival Valor Ship Tour, that's a great way to do it. And you get to know the layout of a ship. Because it's one thing looking at the deck plan. It's another thing to see somebody actually walk through the ship. That's a great idea, Cindy. Thank you. Kitty, Aqua 80 on Oasis was amazing. I sail on it again just for that show. I'll tell you what, those water shows are amazing. And the newest one on Icon has a name. It's called Aqua Action. And it definitely had some roller skating, or skateboarding. I think it might have bike as well, like BMX bike, in addition to the water. It's got all these robots and stuff. Oh, it looks absolutely insane. I'm hoping it's going to be ready for our preview cruise. We've been invited by Royal Caribbean to come on the Icon for a preview. I'm hoping it'll be ready. Cassie, not a big fan of cats.
Neither am I. Well, the show. I'm a fan of cats, the animal. The show, not so much.
It really should not be on a cruise ship. It's the wrong show for a cruise ship. Lady K, you cruise with your PD dialysis solutions. You have to have it delivered to a ship before you sail. That is absolutely correct. I love that. There is a website called Dialysis at Sea. And if you need dialysis treatment, there are only certain ships that can do this. And there's only certain types of dialysis you can do. But if you coordinate with Dialysis at Sea, you can find out what ships you can go on. You can book a cruise, and you can get your treatment set up through them. So thank you for that, Lady K. That is awesome. Peter Capablanca, first time Royal Caribbean. Have we been on Wonder? You go in 3 weeks. Not the Wonder, but we have been on Symphony, which is one of her sisters. And I fell in love with the Oasis class. I really didn't know because it's so big. You see it in port. You're like, oh, my God, this ship is so big. But I fell in love with Central Park. I really fell in love with Central Park. Our great friend Stephanie, Sean and Steph channel, she did a whole vlog series from the Wonder of the Sea. So I would certainly check that out on YouTube. I now have a link in my link tree. So on TikTok, if you click the logo, one of those links is going to be the Sean and Steph channel. Go there and watch Stephanie's whole vlog. She was actually on the ship with Ben and David. So Ben and David also have a full vlog from the Wonder. Like I said, we loved the Symphony. We really did. Park Cafe in Central Park, I think it's a fabulous alternative for breakfast and lunch, versus going to the buffet and having all these crowds of people. The Solarium Bistro up front is a smaller buffet, so you don't have to deal with the windjammer. We felt that the buffet was better on the Symphony of the Seas than it had been in previous sailing. So I think they're upping their game a little bit. I don't know if Hooked Seafood is on there, but if it is, fabulous, absolutely fabulous on there. So you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time. By the way, once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Hit the like button so that YouTube and TikTok know. I don't know how many other creators do a simulcast on TikTok and YouTube, because it's not easy to do because TikTok doesn't let a third party do it. I literally have my phone and my camera side by side here so I can do this and talk to all y'all. So if you like what we're doing, please do hit the like button so that they know.
And because Walter tries to answer pretty much everybody's questions, It'll take him a little while
It
to get to
will.
your question, so
It
you
will.
don't necessarily need to keep asking it.
Yeah.
He'll get there eventually.
I will. Just go ahead and ask it, and if I somehow miss your question, that's what Rebecca's really good at. She's like, hey, you missed this question, and I will go back. But I do. You see, I try to answer everybody's question. I like to try anyway. Kitty is asking, is it possible to switch your sailing from one day to another if they are both with Royal Caribbean? The answer is generally yes, before final payment. After final payment, it could be a little sticky, and this is where it's great to have a travel advisor such as myself, because not only do I have a separate, phone bank that I'm going to call into and talk to agents that are specific for the travel agency, I have, I got a guy, I got a person at Royal Caribbean, and if something comes up, I had a situation on Carnival where we had to make a switch, and I was told on the phone, well, we're not going to be able to. So I just reached out to my Carnival rep, and 2 days later, boom, we were. She's like, no problem, we got it. We talked it through. I passed it through to whoever needed to make the decision. They made a decision. We made the switch. Everybody was happy. As long as you're staying on the same cruise line, and you're not actually canceling, they're more willing to work with you. If you're just flat out canceling, then it gets a little sticky. But hey, Kenneth, thanks so much for dropping in. Really appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, and this is why it's so good to have a travel advisor. Let us deal with it. We have connections, so we can deal with it. Scott, you have a midweek break in your fall schedule, Thursday to Monday, October. What cruise line? I don't know what you like, Scott. You probably have a whole bunch, and I don't know where you want to sail from. We got Florida, Long Beach, New York, and all of that. I don't really know. It's party hard.
There are a lot of cruises that will leave, at least in Florida, that leave on Friday, return on Monday.
Yeah,
so that's probably what's going to be
working.
Yeah,
so you got probably, so the three that I can think of offhand would be Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and MSC. Those are the three I can think of offhand. Do a lot of those. Celebrity is starting to, but I don't think it's this year. I think it's next year they start with the short ones, but I can't remember. But Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and MSC. Those are the three that you're going to find a cruise on. And it just depends on how much you want to pay, what ship do you want, or where are you sailing out of, and what ship do you want of what's available. So yeah. Do I have any knowledge of the small ships that do Greece? Some. Yeah, I mean, we work with Oceania, Azamara, Viking, Regent, Seven Seas, Seabourn. So yeah, I mean, we do, and we do book them. I've got a client going to Japan on Regent Seven Seas. Oh my God, what a great itinerary! 15 days, I think. I mentioned earlier we've got a client doing 42 days on the Holland America Volendam from the States. We've got Oceania. I always say Oceania. The I is silent, just Oceania. I believe we've got at least one booked on there. So yeah, we do. User 376, if you want to reach out and talk about the smaller ships, absolutely, we can do that. User 247, you need to DM us regarding travel insurance. Yeah, please do. Again, you click the links. If you're watching on TikTok, I'll just hold that up for you guys because it's backwards on YouTube, but there you go. Where's waltertravel.com? And or you can just simply click the links. There's a contact us button right there. And what I have on there is I have a calendar. So just set up a time. That's the easiest thing to do. Because when people email me, the first thing I'm going to do is email you back and say, well, what time should I call you? Or what day and time should I call you? So go into the calendar and just set up a time. And then I just simply call you. Or we have a video chat. So Stephanie, do they have a senior discount? Most cruise lines have something, but it depends. Like we'll click the 55, and if they're offering something, yeah, you'll get it, but it's not a whole lot.
And it's rare. You always check the button that you're 55 or older, but it's very rare that it actually
not much
makes a difference in pricing.
What does make a difference is a residency. If you live in New York and it's a New York-based cruise, if you live in Florida, it's a Florida-based cruise. If you live in California, it's a California-based cruise. Live in Washington, Seattle-based cruise. That makes a difference. Oh, Texas for Galveston. That makes a difference. That actually does make a monetary difference if you are a resident of the state where the ship is sailing out of. Much more so than senior. Jada, our advice, how far in advance should you plan to start booking Caribbean and for the Mediterranean? As soon as possible.
Especially the Mediterranean.
Yeah, especially the Mediterranean. It's kind of a shorter season, depending on the ship. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I was talking about tried to book 6 cabins on Royal Caribbean for Alaska in July 2024. Could not get the configuration that the family wanted, so now we're booking for 2025. So as soon as possible, those of you who are watching go, well, I want to wait to see what the prices are. Don't wait. Work with a travel advisor. If the price goes down, all I have to do is call the cruise line and say, I believe the price has gone down on this category. If they confirm that the price is, I've called in for $20 and $30. Hey, the price went down by $30. Okay, yeah, boom, I take it down. I had one client, it went down by $800. That was a significant saving. So don't wait. Work with a travel advisor. As I've said before, my services are 100% free. So you're not paying me a dime to work with you. And I have direct connections with the cruise line. So book as far in advance as possible. So is it advisable to buy locks for suitcases if placed in the hallway outside of the room? That's up to you. Our suitcases
certainly never put anything valuable in there.
Yeah, don't put anything valuable.
The luggage locks are not going to be 100% safe if you actually have something valuable in there.
I mean, fortunately, it's a very rare occurrence that something actually happened. Most people don't mess with it. There are cameras out there in the hallway. So if something were to happen, they could certainly track it down. But that's totally up to you. PCB Fishing Paul. Hey, Paul, how are you? You're doing your first transatlantic on the Symphony. Nice. Got any advice for Barcelona? I do not. Other than Sofragata, whatever that church is called. That which I think is finally finished, right? They literally just finished it. I don't have anything for Barcelona pre-cruise. Yeah, tapas for sure. Rebecca's mom did a post-cruise in Barcelona, and we found the cutest little hotel for her. And she did it was absolutely fabulous. The hotel was kind of like within walking distance of all the big stuff. So that would be my biggest advice: is make sure wherever you're staying, you don't have to get in the cars and keep going everywhere. Try to book somewhere where you can stay right in the spot. But I don't have anything oh, you should do this or that or the other. I'm so sorry. If anybody does, if anybody's watching and has a suggestion for Barcelona, please do pop them in the comments so we can pass them along to Paul. Chambers, you want your next cruise to be 10 to 14 days and you're solo. What lines have affordable balcony rates for you? You want to cruise next July through April of 2025. For the balcony, the only cruise, well, there's 2 main cruise lines, Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. So Celebrity has solo infinite balconies, which is basically the one where the glass window goes down and then you can look out. Royal Caribbean has a surprising number of solo cabins spread throughout their fleet. They're not many, but there are some that are honest to goodness balconies. I want to say it's the Quantum class has 6 of them on every ship, 3 or 6 of them on every ship. And then MSC has run 80% solo supplement. Right now, Virgin Voyages is running no solo supplement in the Mediterranean, but that's only for this summer. It's rare for them to run the solo supplement because of the whole lifeboat situation. That's why they do it, because you're taking up 2 seats when you're a single person in a double occupancy cabin. But again, Celebrity has those cabins, and Royal Caribbean has a surprising number of solo cabins, and some of those are balconies. But for the most part, yeah, Colette, who was on here before, she always travels in a balcony, and she is solo, and she just pays the rate. And we try to find the best rates that we possibly can for her. So feel free to reach out. Yeah, Carnival and Norwegian are good choices, but they don't have balconies for solos. They are going to be interiors. Let's see, how is MSC compared to NCL? So they are different. So number one, the entertainment is better on NCL. It's not bad on the entertainment is entertaining, but it's better on Norwegian for sure. I think the trivia in the game better on Norwegian for sure. I mean, they had trivia and they had that stuff on MSC, just wasn't nearly as good. And the people running it, they just weren't. If you've ever done Carnival and the Fun Squad, those guys know how to do trivia. And NCL, they know how to do trivia. But the experience on board the ship is actually rather similar, I think, just in terms of the ships themselves. MSC, at least the Seaside, have much better pools. They had deep pools. They had more pools. But
and I think personally, of course, dining is very subjective, but
right.
personally, I think I would give a slight edge in the main dining room and the buffet to MSC.
Yeah, but specialty dining, it's going to be really close. I love the specialty dining on Norwegian. Food Republic on the Norwegian ships is one of our favorites, but we were honestly really surprised by how good of an experience that we had on MSC, because that Seaside is the one that got the really bad score from the CDC. It had been maligned maliciously and constantly in social media. We had a time and we went standard. We did not do Yacht Club purposely. Now, if you're comparing Yacht Club to the Haven is, that is the top of the top. The price of the Yacht Club, you get basically the same thing as the Haven. It's like the price of a Royal Caribbean balcony to get into the Yacht Club. So there, MSC wins hands down just for the price. The Haven is still going to be the top of the line experience, but you are paying, that premium price to get in there. So they're much more comparable. KB4, how to transfer your cruise to us? Well, number one, it has to have been booked directly through the cruise line. If it was booked through another travel agent, don't transfer it to us. Leave it with that travel agent. And number two, it depends on which cruise line you're in. There are deadlines within 30 days. Usually, if you're past 30 days from the day that you booked it, you can't transfer any of them. I think Virgin might do 60. I think 30 oddball. But pretty much everybody is no more than 30 days. So you just reach out to me. Where's WalterTravel.com? Click the link on TikTok and just write to me and tell me what the cruise is and when you booked it. And I can send you, there's usually an online form, and you just fill that out, and then the cruise gets transferred to us within 24 hours. So, K-Rock, the big RC ship out of Cape Liberty now is Oasis. Next summer is Symphony. Any ideas 2025? We do not. Good morning, Belly Girl. How are you? Hey, Steph. How are you? I assume you're talking about the San Francisco itinerary. Good to see you, Steph. My favorite person in the world is back. Yes, inside joke. Good to see you. Man, I can't wait till we do lunch or dinner sometime soon. Oh, hey, Stacy, somebody's taking the same cruise. That is awesome. Carnival Valor has been your favorite ship. So easy to get around. You sailed on her 3 times. I'm telling you what, people love those ships. After there are a lot of folks who are like, I just want the newest, I want the biggest. But Carnival has a lot of love for their older and their smaller ships. We have not done one yet, so I definitely need to get one. Amanda, thoughts on the Mardi Gras? I have a full playlist on TikTok and on YouTube. Bless you. All about the Carnival Mardi Gras. It was we had a fun time. Best coffee, any cruise ship, that Cuban coffee, I'm telling you. Oh my God, the Cuban coffee is so freaking good. Pizza, wow, it was really good. Shack Big Chicken, best chicken. I lived in Atlanta for like 20 some years. Shack Chicken is the best chicken sandwich, period. Yeah, we had a great time. The only thing I didn't like, and Steph even brought it up on her vlogs too, is that Grand Central area, that performance area. The seating is awful. They did a terrible job setting up that seating. So you basically got to be there 2 hours before the first show if you want to seat. I'm not going to spend 2 hours with that. But otherwise, I thought the ship was great. We had a great time. Are there any handicap cabins on board? There are. They're limited, and there's 2 different kinds. There's like the fully, you roll in, there's wheelchair accessible, meaning they can literally roll right into the shower. And then there's, I think they call it ambulatory accessible, where you can still step up, you can get out, you can step into the bathroom, you
Basically,
can step into the shower.
they'll just have more grab bars and things.
Yeah, there are, but they're very limited, so you got to book them early. Definitely. You're welcome, Kat. I'm glad we were able to help you out. Oh, there you go. Stephanie is telling you don't miss La Ramblas and great tapas. Steph, do you have a vlog from Barcelona? Are any of your vlogs from Barcelona? If you're not subscribed, PCB Fishing Paul, Sean and Steph, that's the name of their channel right there, the way it's spelled right there on YouTube. Go subscribe to their channel. Sean and Steph have done, I think, over 100 cruises, Steph, at this point. But lots of great information. Bridget, you just got back from an 8-day in the Carnival Magic. We saw her sail out. I can't remember what port we were in, but we saw her sail out. And she looks like a great, I'm glad you had a great time. Stacy, oh, Princess finally got transferred over. You'll send an email. Yay. Oh, boy, that's a long story. That's a long story. Stacy, that's so great. By the way, Stephanie is confirmed on our Thanksgiving cruise on Valiant Lady. So we're all going to be sailing together for Thanksgiving on the Valiant Lady, November 18th. So if you want to join in the circle, reach out. We still got cabins available. I can put you in the circle. You can get some extra sailor loot and come hang with us. September is a good month to go to. I don't have the weather information right offhand. For me, anytime's a good time to go to Hawaii. Steph literally just did it. That was May. They were there in May. She did the fire and ice cruise, as I call it. Norwegian Spirit did like 5 days in Hawaii. Then it went up to Alaska, and it did 5 or 6 days in Alaska. If you're not following that blog, oh my God, the icy straight point zip line. It's like I could just watch that on repeat all day long. Her face as she comes out of the thing. I really need to put that on a slow motion loop on TikTok one day. That would just be fabulous. But I don't have the weather information in front of me, so I would say yes. If somebody else,
although most of the cruises that, if we're talking cruises, most of the cruises that do Hawaii from California leave in the winter months.
Okay, so there you go. So they do it in the winter month, and that may also be because the ships are available. A lot of the ships are up in Alaska for the whole season, so they're not going to be there in September. They're all going to be in Alaska. And there you go. Steph says they have a whole series on the NCL Epic, and you can search Barcelona in there. So there you go. Thank you, Steph.
And I think you missed, somebody was asking, said your excursion page had not a lot to offer for Japan next year. Any suggestions?
Oh, did I miss that? I am so sorry. I don't have any suggestions offhand.
My biggest suggestion, well, first of all, since it's next year, things may fill in later.
Right.
But the other options, TripAdvisor is a good place to look for excursions, and Cruise Critic. They have ports of call boards, and you can look there and see what people suggest.
Yeah, cruisecritic.com. It's free to join. And then there's a ports of call forum. And then in there, you're going to see all the cities and or the ports, so you can find the ones you're going to. Alternatively, if you have Amazon Prime, James May did a fabulous series in Japan, Our Man in Japan. That was absolutely hilarious. But he literally travels the length of the entire country, and you may see something in there that sparks your interest. Thank you. Sorry I missed the question. See, that's what Rebecca's for. She makes sure that I don't miss question. Belly Girl, should you carry your luggage off the ship if you're catching a transfer bus? Well, that depends on how you've scheduled it. If you've scheduled it early, then yeah, you should probably carry it off. If you've scheduled it later, you can set what time your luggage is brought off the ship, but you also have to keep in mind the later you get off the ship, the longer there could be a backup in the corral, that luggage corral, especially if they're not using the facial recognition. Now, if they're using facial recognition, usually people just zip right through. But if they're not using facial recognition, then that line is going to take a while.
And it may depend somewhat on whether you've booked a cruise line transfer or a private transfer.
Absolutely.
The cruise line transfers will line up with.
Yeah. When we do Florida cruises, we always do a self-disembark. And for those of you who don't know what that is, a self-disembark is when you don't put the luggage outside the room on the last night of the cruise and have it collected by the crew. You can actually keep all the luggage in your cabin, and then the next morning, when it's time to get off the ship, you are generally among the first ones called to get off the ship, and you just have to roll everything off yourself. We love it because that gets us to our car quick, and then we can get on the way home. So, Bridget, your next one, it's January on the Jubilee. I really want to sail the Jubilee. I really want to sail that more than Celebration. I like what they've done with it. I know, Steph, Thanksgiving. I cannot wait. Everybody, come join us. The Valiant Lady, 8 nights. Okay, so most of Virgin Voyages cruises are 4 and 5 nights on Scarlet Lady. When we have 2 ships in Miami, we get 6 nights and 8 nights. This one is 8 nights. I'm going to be there. Steph is going to be there. I think we've got 16 cabins of people are going to be there. We have an 80th birthday. We have a 30th anniversary. It's going to be great. And we're setting up, we weren't expecting it, but we're going to have like up to 28 people at some of our dinners. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Fred Flynn. How are you, Fred? Thanks for joining us. Are there ways to get dialysis at sea without the over $5,000 fee for 1 week cruises? It is what it is. You have to go through dialysis at sea. As far as I know, dialysis at sea is the only authorized provider with the cruise line. So if that's what it costs, that's what it costs. Yeah, I don't know of any other way to do dialysis at sea because, again, it's only certain ships, certain cruise lines, and dialysis at sea is that conduit that sets it up. So yeah, I'm sorry it's so expensive, but that is probably the way it is. Yeah. Mark Badger, I'll be on the Explorer of the Seas for the second time in January. Yay! And you're going to be celebrating your birthday. Wow, what a great way to celebrate a birthday. Robbie, is Carnival the only cruise line that gives these crazy discount for repeat cruisers? No, a lot of them will do the casino offers for sure. Like Princess does them, Holland does them. So yeah, a lot of them do that. Absolutely. You're going on the Carnival Magic May 24 on an ABC itinerary. I love it. It was too expensive. Oh, $2,300 for two. That's actually not bad for a balcony. For an ABC, I assume the ABC itinerary was like 9 days because they generally can't do that in a standard 7-day cruise. So that's actually really good. Anything 3,000 or less for a balcony for a week, it's good. And that would be a longer cruise. So that's really, really good. Let's see. Karen is asking, Norwegian starting out of Baltimore, is it worth it? If it's worth it for you to get on the ship and go where it's going, yeah, absolutely. If it's convenient for you. Nurse Tara, who's watching right now, she's taking multiple cruises out of Baltimore, I believe, like the Vision of the Seas she's going on, and I think a Carnival ship, Tara, I believe also. So if it's worth it for you to go on the ship that is there and to where it's going, yeah, then absolutely it's worth it. You've been looking, just wanted to, oh, thank you so much, Candy. You're taking your whole family, even your 17-year-old granddaughter. Oh, 17-month-old granddaughter. Wow, that is young. That is young. Make sure you understand all the rules about the child and the pools. A lot of times they cannot go in the pools. So make sure you understand those rules because you don't want to have the pool guy walking over and kicking you guys out of the pool and all of that. So make sure you understand what you can and can't do with the young child. So, hey, I caught up. Holy cow. You're thinking Key West pre-cruise or post-cruise in January suggestion. We haven't been to Key West yet. We
had a trip planned, but we had to cancel because we ended up moving.
Yeah. So we were going to do it. I think we're getting close to a Virgin Voyages itinerary that's going to take us to Key West next year. We're looking at a cruise. It's actually going to be Lady because Scarlett's going back. So the Valiant Lady will still be here. And we're looking at, I think it's a Fire and Sunset Soiree. She stops in Key West. So we're finally going to get to Key West for the first time. Sorry, buddy. So no, I don't have any pre-cruise suggestions.
One thing to be aware of is, assuming the cruise is out of Miami, it's still like 3.5 hours to Key West from Miami. So it's not as close as you'd think.
You can hop a flight too. You know, they have the flights that fly back and forth to Miami as well. And there might even be a ferry that does it too as well. Hey, Desiree, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Happy Sunday morning. You're going on the Oasis in less than a month. That's awesome. Oh my God, we have almost 11,000 likes on TikTok. Y'all are amazing. Holy crap. I haven't even looked. I don't know what it is on the YouTube side because I can't see it. But wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all the love on the TikTok side. We do this every single Sunday. And again, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to it. And on Thursday nights, we do a YouTube show, a live show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm trying to line up guests. Our past shows, we've had MSC Cruises, we've had American Cruise Lines, we've had Virgin Voyages, a DCL duo. I had Tony from Lolita Loca was on. This coming week, we actually don't have a guest. It's just going to be us, but I've got Princess, Royal Caribbean, Holland America, working on Viking right now. The only one I can't get is Disney because they won't allow the person to come on. Disney definitely controls all the marketing and all of that. Oh my God, we just crossed over 11,000. Desiree, thank you for the super sticker on YouTube. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for all of your support for some time. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chris, you booked a back-to-back and therefore only get benefits of Princess Plus once. Any tricks around it?
Well, you can book it for both legs.
Yeah. You should have been able to, if you booked it as a true 14-day back-to-back, Princess Plus applies to the whole thing.
Well, Princess will sell their cruises two ways. You can put together 2 7s, or they will sell the same thing as a 14.
Yeah. But
either way, you can get it.
You can put Princess Plus all the way through, no problem.
You just have to book it. If you're booking as 2 7s, you have to book it for each 7.
Yeah, you do. So call your travel agent or call in the Princess and just have them add it to the second leg. That's all, or the first leg, whichever one. Mark, you're saying, oh, so your cruise is out of Miami, so you go a few days before embarkation or stay a few days after the cruise. I mean, Key West is someplace I really want to go. Ever since I saw the New Year's Eve with the drag races and the drag queen and the shoe, it just looks like so much fun down there. But I don't have any suggestions offhand if we've not been. And like I said, I think in 2024 we're finally going to get on a Valiant Lady Fire and Sunset soiree, and we're going to get to stop in Key West. So I really want to do it. The cruise is only 5 nights. Any cruise that if it stops in Key West, they're generally shorter. There are some longer ones that do it. But, that's a whole interesting story anyway, because Key West actually voted to get the cruise ships out. The governor overrode them, so the ships are still coming in. But I know there's a lot of folks down there who are not happy about it. But at least it's only one ship, so that's the good thing. It's only one ship in. It's not like St. Martin's got up to 7 ships now at a certain time. Oh, my God, that's a lot of ships for St. Martin's. 7 ships is a lot of ships for St. Martin. And for those of you going to the Bahamas, if you're booked in 2024, Royal Caribbean has already been sending out notices. Expect the other cruise lines to start sending out notices. Taxes are going up for the visit. So even if you've had final payment, you may get hit up for some more money from the cruise line because the taxes are now going up in the Bahamas. And that also affects the private islands. All the private islands are in the Bahamas. So
most all of them.
Yeah, most all of them, at least the Caribbean anyway. They're pretty much all, Labadee is in Haiti. But yeah, so if you have any itinerary that is visiting the Bahamas after January 2024, expect the cruise line to be reaching out to you to collect a little bit more tax money. Yeah. Do I know if any cruise lines offer a healthcare worker discount for a nurse? Absolutely. MSC Cruises, 100%. They do. You have to verify your identification. But I have an actual client who is in the yacht club on a cruise, and they got I think 10% off, 5% off. I can't remember what it was, 10 or 5% off. But MSC I think has the widest range. Healthcare workers, first responders, military. MSC does a lot of discounts.
But other cruise lines will do those sort of discounts from time to time.
Yeah, from time to time. But MSC is the one that I can think of offhand. I don't know. Norwegian was. I don't know if they still are, but Norwegian was running something. But definitely MSC all day long, for sure. And you can actually Google healthcare discount MSC. It'll bring you right to the page because you do have to verify your employment in order to be doing that. Yeah. Let's see. You're going to be cruising first time April 26th or 29th. Not sure what ship. We'll know more soon. Awesome. Help you book that. Certainly reach out. We'd be more than happy to help you pick out the right ship so that you get the right ship. That's what it's all about. That is what it is all about, getting on the right ship. So many people are like, oh, you should go on Carnival. You should go on Royal Caribbean. You should go on Norwegian. You shouldn't go on a cruise line. You should go on the right ship. So if you're going on your very first cruise, work with a travel advisor. I'd love to be your travel advisor, but if it's not me, work with one of my many colleagues. There are thousands. And I'm a part of KHM Travel. There's more than 5,000 agents just in KHM Travel. We'd love to work with you, but work with a travel advisor so that you get on the right ship. So Chambers, is Carnival the only line with a cove balcony? No, Princess on the Sun and the Star Princess. They've got the cove balconies on the They look so cool, don't they? If you don't know what we're talking about, these are balconies literally right down on the waterline. They're below the lifeboats. So they're right there on the waterline. I didn't even notice them on the Mardi Gras until we got off in San Juan. And where the gangway was walking up, like the balcony was right there on either side of us. I was like, oh my God, these are balconies. I want to stay down here. And if you've never seen them, go to Ben and David, go to the Carnival Celebration blog. They actually rode the Celebration transatlantic from Europe to Florida. They stayed in a cove balcony. Now I really want to stay in it. I was like, oh my God, what a view. It's so amazing. So yeah, cove balconies they look fabulous. And what's really different about them, you don't like step out, onto a balcony where you're out. It's kind of protected in. But my goodness, I mean, it's almost like you can just reach out. It's almost like a river cruise. Really, it's what that view looks like. It's like a river cruise. The ship is like right there. That's what it looks like. So yeah, those cove balconies look amazing. So yeah, Brittany, you got to go on one of our big. By all means, come on and reach out. Yeah, there you go. So Stephanie is saying it feels like you're on a yacht so close to the water. The view was amazing. Now, when you're in port, obviously, if the port is on your side of a ship, you're not going to see anything in port because you're looking right at the terminal.
And you may want to keep your curtains closed if you're, say, guest.
Yeah, but when you're actually out on the water, oh my God! I mean, when I saw Ben and David's vlog, I was like, my God, it's just like a river cruise. It really is. So, Bridget's saying they love the cove balconies. I really want to do one, and if we can do one, Princess, that would actually be kind of cool. I am so excited about the new Princess ship, the Sun and the Star. Oh my God, they look absolutely cool. Speaking of new ship, the Viva has hit the water. She is out and sailing now. And of course, like pretty much every other cruise line, the show is not ready. Beetlejuice is not ready. They didn't say exactly why, but the show will not be ready for the maiden voyage. Stephanie knows all about that from the Wonder of the Seas, where the effectors, I think the effectors released like 6 months after the Wonder of the Seas actually started. So hopefully Beetlejuice is not going to take that long. I really want to see the show. That is one of the reasons why I want to go on the Viva. I really want to see Beetlejuice. I was actually in New York when the show was happening, and it was so bizarre for me because it was in the Winter Garden Theater, which is where Cats was when my brother-in-law was in the show. And I'm just, Cats marquee on the Winter Garden, just, it was so weird to see Beetlejuice, but I never saw it on Broadway, so I really want to see it on the Viva. So, yeah, none of the shows are ready on the Wonder Inaugural. But you did have that lovely unplanned rainstorm in the ship. That was pretty cool. Shannon, you saw Beetlejuice 8 times on Broadway. Wow. Yeah, and I couldn't tell. Almost looked like the original Beetlejuice is on the ship. But I couldn't quite tell, but it almost was him that's actually on the ship. But I don't know. I don't know if he's doing another show on Broadway right now. I love Broadway so much. I grew up in the Hudson Valley, New York. So the Grand Central Station was the last stop on MTA, Metro North. So we could just ride on down to Grand Central. Back then when I was in high school, parents didn't really think much about the kids getting on the train and just going on down to New York for the day. So we used to do that. And we'd go to TKTS, and we would just get tickets for whatever show was available. And then if there was a matinee show of Cats, I would always go by the stage door and go in and see all the Cats as they came off the stage, and then hang out with my brother-in-law. That was quite an experience. I'll never get that again, but boy, just being able to walk into a Broadway theater pretty much anytime you wanted to, that was pretty doggone cool. So, the sprinklers came on and gave us a surprise performance. So you did get a show. It was just Singing in the Rain. You just didn't realize that it was audience participation show, Singing in the Rain. If you did not start singing, then you just totally messed up the entire. I'm sorry, Steph. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's not on the show. Okay, so I thought it might have been, but wow, it is almost noon time. We've been going for an hour and a half. I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon because I do have some more. I actually have clients that I need to call today. So a quick reminder: Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, we are on the YouTube channel. Most Thursdays, we're going to have a guest from the cruise industry, or it might be a fellow vlogger, or maybe some of my clients who have taken some interesting trips. I'm trying to get guests on every single Thursday night. But that Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, it's on the YouTube channel, Where's Walter Travel. And then here on TikTok, we go every single Sunday morning. at 10:30 a.m. Unless we're on a ship, then it might change. Like at Thanksgiving, we're definitely, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving because we're going to do a live with a studio audience. We're going to have a live audience. So that should be fun. We got like 28 or 30 of us on that cruise. So that should be a lot of fun. Oh, and Stephanie will be sitting in the peanut gallery with Rebecca. So there will be two voices off camera for that. So that should be a lot of fun. So for everybody over on the YouTube side, thank you so much for joining us. We're here every Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. And if there's anything we can do to help you with your travel, where'swaltertravel.com, or links are in the description. We'll see you guys Thursday night, or we'll see you back here next Sunday morning. Thanks so much for joining us.